It's officially been 30 days with the new Model Y Juniper 2026 in the Quicksilver color. Absolutely beautiful. But if you watched my 2 week update, you might remember that I was feeling a little bit of buyer's remorse in buying the Model Y coming from a Model 3 because I didn't really prefer the way that it drove. I didn't prefer the way that it handled. It looks and feels less sporty. Surprise, surprise, right? So why did I buy the Model Y? I bought it for more space, which it's got plenty of. I bought it for a refreshed interior, which compared to my pre-Highland Edition 2023 Model 3, it does have a refreshed interior. It looks fantastic. I was a little intrigued by some new features like auto shift, the automatic turn signal cancel when you switch lanes, switching gears from the touchpad rather than a stock, the automatic laying seats, the updated glass roof with more heat shield protection. There's a lot of updates to celebrate, and this is a fantastic car. But I still do maintain that I prefer the handling and the look of the Model 3 overall. I do like the refreshed Model 3's overall appearance compared to the new Model Y. But as an experiment, I drove my wife's Model 3. She's got the pre-Highland Edition, the Legacy Edition, whatever you want to call it, a 2023 model. I drove it for a couple of days after driving this for a couple of weeks just to see if I would still prefer driving her car and maybe I'd let her whip the new ride. And immediately I could see that that car is lacking so many things that this new updated Model Y has. So overall, I was just feeling a little bit of not necessarily buyer's remorse, but I was just in that awkward phase of making the adjustment from feeling the way a Model 3 feels around a turn compared to the way a Model Y feels around a turn. Feeling the way that it has that wonky body roll compared to the Model 3, which is lower to the ground and just zips around like it's magnetized to the ground. There's a couple things about it that I like, but I realized that the Model Y Juniper Refresh Edition completely decimates the Model 3 in 90% of ways outside of looks, in my opinion. There's so many good things to celebrate on here. And you know what else? I'm actually more of a fan now of shifting on the touchscreen than I am on shifter stocks. I never thought I would say this. I thought 100% I would like the idea of the shifter stocks because you can kind of do it with your eyes closed if you had to, right? You can do it without looking. But after hopping in my wife's car with the shifter stocks, every time I went to do it, it felt weird. In fact, the swipe on the screen feels more natural to me now than the shifter stocks. So if you're worried that you might not ever get used to the shifter being on the touch screen or the auto shift feature, it's kind of like the home button on an iPhone. You remember the home button? Everybody loved their home button. Nobody wanted to get rid of the home button. Everybody loved the thumbprint. Nobody wanted Face ID. However, everybody's got Face ID now, and hardly anybody has the home button. And I think we can all agree that we've gotten used to it, and now it actually works much quicker, and it just feels more natural in the long run. So the people who make these decisions, I hope, are making these decisions with a lot of thought in mind, and they've kind of gone down the rabbit hole before us, and they're making these decisions not only to save money on not having to install stock shifters on cars, but they're doing it because they've realized that there's a slightly more efficient way. At least that's what I think, guys. Maybe I'm just over here glazing. Anyway, I just wanted to give a quick update that I'm no longer what's the word that I'm looking for? Regretful for buying my new Model Y. Because there was a period of time where, guys, I don't know, I actually considered selling this like within the first week or two. I know that's like a ridiculous decision and I was acting irrational, but I had considered selling this because I was just at a point where I was like, oh my God, it doesn't drive anything like my beloved Model 3. But now I'm over that and I've realized that I can use this for different things and I've learned to embrace it for what it is. And when I hit a curve and there's a little bit more body roll than what I'm used to in the 3, I just try to enjoy the ride. So overall, this is still working out for me. I'm going to keep it. Am I going to get an updated Model 3 in the future? Probably. I'm not going to get a Model S, I don't think. I can't really justify spending that much money on a car. And other than that, I just want to give everybody some comfort and peace of mind that if you get the new Model Y Juniper, I think you too would also become accustomed to all the new features and you'd learn to love it just the way that I have so far. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on Teslamonium.